Okay, hot take on AI in video games. Let's get into it. AI in video games is becoming one of those topics where the entire internet immediately grabs their pitchforks. The second someone says a studio is experimenting with AI, people start screaming that it's going to destroy the gaming world. But here's the thing, I actually think gamers might be looking at this completely backwards. Now, before you rage click out of this video, let me be clear. I do not want entire video games made by AI. But if developers used AI as the tool that it is to create worlds that actually dynamically react to you, to your words, your tone, the way you treat NPCs and other characters, that might be the most immersive thing gaming has ever seen. And honestly, I am going to buy it and I am going to play the hell out of that game. So before we get started, I am genuinely curious. Drop your comments on your initial reaction when I say let's put AI in video games. At first, let's be clear. I do not want fully AI generated games. I do not want studios replacing developers with bots. AI should be a tool, not the entire solution. Chasing developers out of the industry for experimenting with AI tools, it feels short sighted. I'm not a developer, I'm not a professional gamer, I'm just your average Jolette gamer who enjoys survival craft games and RPGs the most. When I'm thinking about AI in video games, I am not thinking of an evil replacement for creativity. What I am thinking of is the possibilities for developers to create the most immersive, replayable game we have ever seen. Like I said, I'm not a developer. I don't know how these things work, but I can see just from the way I use AI as a tool that it could be used to create more immersion, more personalization, a more truly dynamic gameplay. That right now most games are heavily scripted and players experience identical stories. I mean, everybody picks up a copy of the latest game, everybody's going to play the same game. Imagine walking up to an NPC and actually talking to them instead of selecting dialogue options. They respond to your words, your tone, your attitude. They remember what you said. Your personality influences the world. Would you actually want real conversations with NPCs instead of dialogue wheels? I would. Imagine the replayability. Two different people could have two completely different experiences playing the exact same game. You know, if you're polite, you might build trust and create a friend in the game that is going to help you on your journey. And if you're rude, you might create an enemy who's going to make that journey more difficult. As an example, let's take a shopkeeper, for instance, and a rather normal NPC found in almost every RPG game. If you're rude to a shopkeeper, they remember. Maybe their prices go up. They get snippy. Maybe they refuse to sell to you for a while. Be honest, how many of you would immediately try to see how mad you could make every NPC in the game? Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, there's a game who attempted something similar with greet antagonized interactions, but reactions were still scripted and they were often way over exaggerated. I think we can all agree on that. I mean, an AI could create a more nuanced response rather than you accidentally bump somebody's shoulder walking down the street and suddenly it's a gunfight. You could have a more, maybe if you bump their shoulder and you speak into your mic and you're like, "Excuse me, ma'am," all of a sudden the town is nice to you instead of, pulling out their guns and ready for the next OK Corral. Or even a survival game like Soul Mask. Imagine if tribes reacted dynamically. Instead of clubbing them over the head, and this would go with Conan too. You club them over the head, you drag them off, you put them on the wheel of pain, or you feed them soup until they become part of your tribe. But what if instead you could build their trust? You could be generous, you could be kind, and instead of them becoming forced slave labor, they voluntarily join your tribe to help you. If a survival game actually did this, would you play nice with tribes or would you go full barbarian mode? I would love the option to do both. Or let's look at RPGs. This probably has the greatest potential. Quest givers can react to your attitude. Being rude might make the quests harder, but you can still reach the end game. It does not change the ultimate end game. It only changes how you get there. If the world actually reacts to you personally, each player's journey becomes unique, and the replayability of that is insane. Games like this could reinforce the idea that actions have consequences. Would you want games to react to you personally like that, or should games stay more scripted? Pick a dialogue option off a wheel. No matter how rude you are to the NPC, they're still going to give you the exact same line they give everyone else. It's boring, and I think it could be way more dynamic. But let's be clear, games in no way should rely entirely on AI. Developers should use it as the tool that it is to build deeper, more immersive systems. But the gaming community often overreacts to the idea of using AI. And I think what most of us forget is that innovation requires experimentation. And if we absolutely put the brakes on developers even experimenting with these ideas, we could be missing out on something great in the future. And again, I'm not a developer. I'm not an AI engineer. I'm not even a professional gamer. I'm rather average. But I'm a gamer who likes to think outside the box. I want games that feel so immersive and so personal that I want to play them over and over again. Is AI in gaming a disaster waiting to happen? Or could it actually make games better if developers use it the right way? If a game ever delivers this level of immersion and dynamic interaction, you can bet I'll be playing the hell out of it. So if you stuck with me through my whole rant here, I want to know how you feel. If you watch the whole video, comment the word immersion if you think there's some possibility here. And if it's absolutely no, AI should completely stay out of the video game industry, leave the comment pitchforks. I'd love to see the reaction.